All right, so here today, I thought I'd address this because literally, so my last video on the channel pretty much was talking about Kaiju number 8, just like that it's a coming game, it's a cool game, I've seen it, I've been tracking it for a little bit now, hoping to see the global launch soon, and it finally got its global confirmation. It comes out August 31st, blah, 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 same stuff, and we're excited. That's pretty much the entire video. Every comment on that video was, oh, it's gonna end of service, oh, it's 100% dead, oh, this. And I'll talk about why that is and why a lot of players are suspecting this to be an end of service game. And I want to talk to you about if that's a true complaint, if that is going to be the case here, and everything associated to it. Again, you could pretty much guess how a gacha is going to do based off its first one's performance. And sort of today, we're going to go over how Kaiju number 8 will potentially perform, and if it does have that end of service scare as players are suggesting. So today, let's have some fun with it. If you are new to the channel, like and subscribe. It helps out a ton. We're going to be covering the game as it launches and checking it out together and seeing how it goes. And again, we'll know up and coming if the game does have potential or not. It depends on if they choose to fumble it, and that's the big case, correct? A lot of games this year made mistakes that killed its hype, killed its global thing, whatever it is. A previous game that I covered on the channel, yes, now they've made changes to adjust those things, but since launch, players again quit games like GGK Fan Parade, games like Persona 5 Phantom X. All right, there's so many different games this year that have fully butchered sort of their launches and such, and if this is one of them, then yes, it's going to be definitely the same thing. But today, let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. Here we go. So, why is this game considered an end of service scare? Why is it this way? First, people say it's because of the IP, because there's not enough characters to go through, because it's not a large enough IP, because the manga's over and everything associated. But Kaiju number 8, with the anime airing and movies and other things that they already have planned, it's a very big IP, and there's no changing that. Obviously speaking, also the Kaiju number 8 verse, there is, I think, still a lot of characters still to go, and also they've already announced OC characters, and on top of that, this IP will be relaunching multiple characters, right? So for example, you're gonna get a multiple Kaiju number 8s, you're gonna get multiple Minas, you're gonna get multiple things like that, and evolved versions of those characters. It also seems that seasonal variants and stuff like that will be a thing in this game, so you're gonna have different things, and definitely, I think it could easily carry 2 to 3 years of content. Depending on how things go, I definitely think they could do that, but that's that front. Now, the other end of service scare is because the company running this game, or basically the devs behind this game, they have already end of service the game, which is a Tribe 9, a game that launched pretty much earlier this year, and this game end of service 3 months into the game. Now, why I'm saying that I am a person that you can listen to and hear this topic through is because I covered Tribe 9 over on this channel. You can actually check it. I dig into this channel. I covered it. Tribe 9 was a game that I played. I was super excited for it because I am a fan of Danganronpa. I'm a fan of that verse and everything associated, and Tribe 9 is from that same author and everything. So it was going to be a game themed like that, similar like that, and it was a game that I was really looking forward to. Sadly, like, I've made this a thing in my earlier videos too, that the game just didn't do good. When it first launched, it didn't do good. It also had a, insane amount of problems and insane amount of things like there. It was a very predatory gacha, and it wasn't a good gacha. It was, to the point where it was genuinely a worse Genshin Impact, and far worse Genshin Impact than you could ever imagine. It was one of the worst gachas out there when it came to gacha systems. The storytelling and everything was beautiful. Everything about the game was outstanding. The quality was there and everything associated, but the gacha was so bad, again, and also the marketing was horrific to the point where the game didn't do good. Why this game end of service, right? Players will say whatever it is now, but the reason this end of service, right, is pretty simply this. It didn't do good. It didn't launch well. It did a horrific launch of 800,000. You'll be like, that's pretty good. No, it's not. No, it's not. For a game like this, for the quality, the time, this was I think, in announcements for 3 years. So this was in definitely dev cycle for 4 years, right? And you have to realize that 800K is not giving them any money back to the point where they literally pulled the plug by the 3rd month here, announcing that they will be end of servicing the game, which is already end of service pretty much. Like, they're not getting any content. It does last until November 27th when you can play it, but it's pretty much dead by now because nothing launches. It's just pretty much a bare bones shell of a game. But why did this happen? Why was this the case here? It was marketing wasn't that good. The launch was horrific. There were other factors also. This just didn't feel like a gacha game. It literally played as if you were playing this like a normal full $60 title. I think that this game would have succeeded if they just charged $60 and said, go buy the game. And players would have bought the freaking game because it was that good of a game. It had enough quality and everything to buy the price of a $60 game. That was this. So, biggest flop by them in the world. And obviously, since this, you could see that a lot of Tribe 9's elements over here were made with Kaiju number 8. They did use a lot of reusing of sort of gameplay systems. Not entirely. This is a like sort of hack and slash 3D RPG. This is more a turn-based game, but whatever it is, they knew that this was a failed title. They shifted towards making Kaiju number 8 and full sending that, as again, that service is dead, right? Tribe 9 is dead. Now, is the same thing going to happen to Kaiju? The simplest thing is, if it has a month launch like this, the game is dead, 1 billion percent. The simplest thing also is Tribe 9 is not the biggest IP out there. Tribe 9 is a thing that's also an anime and such and everything associated. It's not a big IP. Kaiju number 8, on the other hand, is a very huge IP, okay? And IP games always generate that money, regardless of whatever it is, JJK Phantom Parade. JJK is a very big IP. And regardless of Global getting absolutely beaten to death with launch banners, players still pulled and players still spent. And the game still does really good profit, even after all the horrific things that the launch had for players and such. It's still making good money. The thing is, can they keep a good system that's not what Tribe 9 launched with? If they do that, the game will perfectly be fine. The only thing, again, is yes, because of the ones behind it, because of the ones publishing it, as you can see over here, Tribe 9, over here, the other game, which I don't know much about, and then over here, Kaiju number 8. You know, because of this track record, it's horrific. They launched the game and end of service the game in 3 months. They don't have a good track record. That is 1 billion percent a fact, but maybe they learned from that. Maybe they learned, like, hey, we can't, like, completely destroy every aspect of a gacha and launch the game with, like, the worst gacha in, like, history. Because again, remember, they made responses to this. Tribe 9 updated the entire gacha system. They did so many overhauls, but it never brought players back. It never gave players that thing of, oh, you know, come back to the game now. Because again, first, marketing was bad. The first impressions were bad. Everything was bad. That's what happened. The game was 10 out of 10, but the gacha was so, like, horrific, you didn't want to play the game. So, depending on sort of Kaiju, if they do the same thing, game is dead. What I will say is, first off, prior to the hype of Tribe 9, prior to everything, Kaiju automatically has more hype. It automatically has more players pre-registering. It automatically has more players active on social media for it. It automatically already has more people covering it. It already has more people hyped for it and more people talking about it. Other than, again, the negativity around it, but there is still more here. So automatically, they've already done better marketing. Tribe 9 was like the worst marketing. The game was in like development for so long, and then like 1 month before launch, they then start marketing. This game has still, I guess you could say, been marketing much more and much more streams and everything to announce everything properly, comparatively speaking to what the hell they did with Tribe 9. So, is the game in trouble? It depends on how they launch things. When will we know if the game is going to be in trouble? Past the first month. If the first month's not cracking like $2 to $3 to $4 million, then you're definitely in a very scared situation here. That, yeah, the game's not going to be there. They have already, you know, proof of them end of servicing a game just because it didn't crack. I would say about maybe $1 to $2 million. If it is the same thing with Kaiju number 8, it doesn't crack that threshold, you can expect it to be an end of service game or a plug pulled. But I will say, for the most part, given the IP, given everything associated, and whatever it is, I don't think it'll be that quick. I definitely think that if they were to launch these properly, have a free-to-play friendlier gacha, and not like horrific battle elements and a slog of a grind, the game will be fine. And again, based on the Kaiju IP, I still think that because of that, it has more potential and such. Like, for example, you have to realize, like, these tweets over here, 1.2k likes. They have, what, 7,000 followers here. The JP version has a lot of followers as well. They're doing good. Like, on marketing-wise, they're doing pretty good. And for players interested in it, it's much more than Tribe 9. For example, when I started making Tribe 9 videos, no one knew what the hell Tribe 9 was, right? And in this case, people already know it's Kaiju number 8. Oh, it's a game that's worth testing. And then again, you know, they do have Dokkan Battle, which is the craziest part. It's like they made Dokkan Battle, they made Tribe 9. And then Tribe 9 had such issues. Like, come on. And then Kaiju number 8, I'm hoping that it's not the same thing over here. But they also have this game, which I haven't checked into it too much. If anybody knows about this, please let me know. I haven't checked into this at all. I have no idea about this game. But yeah, that's why if you're seeing end of service scare, it's because Tribe 9 exists. And they did pull the plug on that very quickly. And yeah, but again, that's because of outside issues. I would say marketing, and I would say the gacha. They ruined it. If they cooked on day one, it would have been good. I hope Kaiju learns from that mistake and makes a good gacha. But if you start to see like the warning signs of the gacha being horrifically predatory, then it's Tribe 9 2.0. Because again, players won't be inclined to spend as much. But JJK Phantom Parade got away with it. Some other gachas got away with it. Can they get away with it? Is that IP big enough to do so? That's the question they have to ask themselves, and that's the question we'll find out. All right, so take care, have fun. Just a quick discussion on why the drama's there and why a lot of players are scared of the game. But I have at least a little bit of hope, you know? I have a little bit of hope. So let's see how this goes.